Well, the title of my message today, which is a segue into our sacred water bowl ceremony, is called Back to Basics. And I can't think of anything more, a particular topic, a particular word that is any more important when it's about back to basics in spirituality than faith. And some of the things that Reverend Kathy mentioned a moment ago take great faith in terms of how everybody showed up over the time. And, you know, we know perfect divine right action for everyone that has been involved in CSL Paradise. And for some, that meant moving away and starting another life. So all of the changes that happen over the time are right and perfect. And there will be more of those changes. So we, this is a bridge. Today is a bridge. And we are on one side of the bridge. When we're done today, symbolically, we'll be on the other side of the bridge. We will have done the first crossover. And my vision for that, my 2020 vision, that is so crystal clear for me, is perfect divine right action for every individual, perfect divine right timing. The right people will be there at the right time. And so this is and will continue to be every single day, every single week, a journey of faith. Having said that, I'm reminded of a little short story that I think speaks to this idea very well. Once upon a time, during a very severe drought, all the town's citizens decided to gather and to decide what it was that they could do about the drought. And so you can imagine a group of people coming together from many different perspectives, many different ages, and they all had a different idea about what should be done. But in the end, after hearing all the ideas, someone spoke up about the possibility of prayer. And so they decided that prayer was a good idea to increase their faith, and they decided upon a certain time and a certain place, which was a field in the town, that they would gather to pray. On the appointed day, the people went out to the field, and they noticed that there was one boy, only one boy, who brought with him an umbrella. So that story tells us a lot. It tells us that our faith, to be personal, to be real in the moment, needs expectancy. So you were talking about your trip this morning to Hawaii. And I was thinking, yes, make sure you know the suitcases that you're taking. Begin to think about the clothes that you're going to pack, even when all the details have not been worked out. And so I know that we're going to have time today in our water ceremony and in the coming week and beyond for each one of us to think about what our vision is for ourselves and for the center as a whole, and to begin to ask ourselves to act as if. That the putting faith in the idea that we want to see means that we actually become the thing that we want to experience in our lives. So this is not a blind faith. Trevor, would you put that PowerPoint up? Oh, he's got it up. See how he is? And then go to the first slide. So there's a chapter in the Science of Mind textbook called The Principles of Successful Living. And this is our theme today, faith. Science of Mind is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Neither does it promise something for nothing. It does, however, promise the one who will comply with its teachings that he or she shall be able to bring greater possibilities and happier conditions into their experience. So the idea of complying with the teaching asks us, first of all, to understand what is the principle that there is an effect to every cause that I set into motion, that it is done unto me as I believe I am worthy and valuable and ready to receive this. Now, sometimes I know for myself, when I start to ask those questions, am I ready to receive that which I say that I want? That's a very, very good question for us to ask ourselves, because then we can dive a little deeper into doubt, fear. What are my beliefs about this that have kept me so far from experiencing this vision, this idea? Now, in the Bible, in the book of Isaiah, the Lord said, "Don't fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine." We are one. And that which you understand me, spirit, divine mind to be, is who you are. Don't fear. I have already redeemed you. I have called you by your name. God doesn't see our limitations, our doubts, our fears. But this thing that we call God or spirit or divine mind or infinite intelligence is also a responsive power. It can only give us what we are ready to accept. Would you go to the next one? So I was thinking about this, we'll read it in just a second, but I was thinking about this in terms of fear. How fear and apprehension actually keeps us from being clear about what it is that we want. And from Ernest Holmes' book, Can We Talk to God? When the mind is peaceful and still, it catches a vision of this greater good that I desire. In actuality, when my mind is peaceful and still and contemplative, what I really, really desire to experience in my life begins to surface. And it may not be clear, but it definitely is full of feeling. It's about love. So if I want more love in my life, then the call is for me to realize that I am that love that I desire. Like, who would have thought? We're so trained to think that when we want something, we need to just go out and get it and make it happen and willpower it in. I want more love. I choose you. You are going to give me more love. And in a way, we do that. Or we forget what it is that we really want and settle. Now, I am asking you today to take some of these ideas really deeply into your heart, because we're going to have an opportunity to release beliefs and attitudes and experiences of the past that have kept us stuck in fear. False evidence appearing real because it's a memory, and memories become real through the things that we project them on today, our fears and our concerns and our choices, and thereby we limit the possibilities, what is possible for us. While the mind is in turmoil and combat, it cannot receive an image beyond the limiting circle of the small measure in which the mind, the awareness, the consciousness has been treading around. It's called the sphere of influence. We're on automatic, and we get up and we do a lot of the same things, and we expect a lot of the same things to happen. And we're too busy to take that quiet, contemplative time. And so we get what we've always gotten. This is 2020. Will you join me in identifying places in your life experience where you can emphatically say, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. That does not serve me. And you know, God actually commands us. There's at least 80, in my research, there's at least 80 scriptures in the Bible, and of course in many other spiritual teachings, that tells us, fear not. I am here. I am with you. I am closer than your very breath. I am the image of possibilities that you can imagine. All of these ideas and desires of your heart were planted in you from the very beginning. Rise up and know who you are. Be still and know that I am the I am that you are. And so we are asked, our desires of our heart ask us to increase our faith, to take a stand, to do something concrete that we will be able to do today, to set something new in motion. We do not take what we wish, but we do attract to ourselves that which is like our thought. And so, I must become the more if I wish to draw a greater good into my life. Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws, says it really simply. And he breaks it down into 7 chapters. And if you want more love, become more loving. If you want more money, then learn how to use the money that you have and become more generous. Practice the principles of abundance. If you want more creativity in your life, then turn within to that creative aspect within you and listen to your heart's desires about what you've always wanted to create and do. And it doesn't have to be complicated or earth-shaking or heal the entire world. I think the next one, Trevor. Our part is to be ready and willing to be guided into truth and liberty. All doubt and fear must go. This is your stand. Now, does it mean that just by the stand that you choose to take today, or that you continue to work on, and future lines in the sand that you begin to draw, enough is enough, is all by itself going to heal all memory of past experiences, all false belief? No. But it will be a big step. This is an inside job that includes outer activity. When I say I'm a center for spiritual living, a center for spiritual living, then that really tells me a lot about how to organize and structure my day. And it tells me a lot about what my priorities need to be in order for me to experience the vision, right? And so I might want to incorporate reading every day. I might want to get a book, go to Barnes & Noble or look at the books that I have and just know that I'm going to be guided to something that is going to be new and challenging and supportive. And I'm going to use this as a practice. I need to get out pen and paper and write down what my vision is. Clearly, succinctly, with all of the details of the image and how I'm going to feel living from this kind of faith. I'm going to need to be willing to look foolish at times. And so, what if you were part of a prayer group that went out into the field, and what if you brought an umbrella and the rain didn't come? What if you decided that you were emphatically and clearly going to become more loving, and you identify certain areas in your life that's a challenge, and you've written it out, and you've dedicated yourself to it, and you've practiced it, and you show up, and you are more loving, and the experience that you have coming back to you is not so loving? We always get to choose how we respond. When it's a belief, the response might be to just come right back at that same level, to drop back to our old behavior. It's like, no, I'm committed. I'm committed when I'm sick. It's a wonderful day. good is coming to me. I'm committed when people around me are not happy with me, because their experience does not have to be my experience. I'm committed because I listen to my inner voice from the feedback that I get and ask, what is mine to do? I'm willing to hear. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to be more loving. I'm willing to be more prosperous and begin to use financial, spiritual principles of tithing and being really clear about how I'm using my money. I heard someone say once that all you have to do is look through your online check thing or your register to look through where your debits, your checks, your giving is going, and it shows you really clearly what you love. And that's not a judgment. That's just that's a assessment, a feedback. I've tried it. It's very, very interesting. Yes, I love the utilities. The PG&E is paid, the rent, this is good. But do those things come first? Am I putting all of those good first before my giving back to Source? An assessment. I'm the one that gets to decide.